For today's creativity flow, we're going to be doing some movements to help undo some of the damage that comes from sitting all the time, because as artists, creators, writers, we sit a lot. So here we go. We're gonna start in mountain pose. I'll start facing you. You can start at the top of your mat. I'll move to the top of mine here in a minute. But we're just gonna establish a nice posture, a nice base for support by pressing through all four corners of the feet into the mat. Almost like you're trying to push up and away from the mat. Bend, keeping a slight bend in the knees. We don't want to lock them. Pulling the belly button up and back toward the spine to really engage the core and bring some stability through the center. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears, almost like you're pinching an invisible pencil between them. Lifting the top of the head toward the ceiling to invite some length into the spine. And boom, we're standing in a nice, strong mountain pose. And even this pose itself is great to do when you've been sitting for a while and you just need to invigorate the body and get up and let blood start to flow again, because when we're all hunched over, it's really hard for blood and energy to flow freely through the body. So simply by standing like this, we give it that space. And we'll start to come into our breath by breathing in through the nose and sighing it out through the mouth. Maintaining your strong posture as we just start to find a rhythm to our breath, letting everything in the outside world off of our mats fall away for just a few minutes. Breathing, paying attention to how the breath feels filling the body. The chest stretching, filling, and emptying as we exhale. We're just going to start to stay with that breath. We're going to invite some movement in here. So we'll inhale to reach for the sky. Reaching through the fingertips, but leaving some space between our hands, almost like we're holding a beach ball. And then on the exhale, we're gonna lean to the right, pressing that left foot into the earth to invite a counter weight so we can get a nice stretch through the left side of the body, reaching up and over to the right side of the mat, and inhaling back to center. And exhaling, reaching to the left, pressing that right foot into the mat. And inhale back to center. And let's just start to make that a nice fluid movement. So we're exhaling to the right, inhaling to center, but we're not even stopping. Just exhale to the left. So it's almost like you're a tree flowing in the wind here, matching the movement to the breath. Keeping the feet planted, so most of the movement comes from the waist up. You can even maybe let your hands sway a little bit. Just letting your body move and stretch, reaching through those fingertips, especially when you come back to center. And exhale, and this time when we come back to center, inhale through the fingertips. We're gonna exhale into just a slight back bend, but leading with the head. We're trying to create an arch with the back. Inhale back to center. And exhale one more time, kind of like an up and over motion with the head into that back bend, but keeping the feet planted. And back to center to bring the hands down through center, back to the sides, back into mountain pose. I'm gonna move to the top of the mat. Now we're going to keep the movement going through a couple of half sun salutations. So we're going to inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, forward fold, bending at the waist, keeping the spine long and strong, bending the knees as much as you need in this first few folds, releasing the breath. And then exhale, half flat back, hands either on the shins or the thighs, gazing just above the mat. And exhale back into the fold. And then inhale, reach down to come up. Reaching through the fingertips, straightening up, straightening through the waist. And exhale, dropping the hands down through center, back into mountain. I'm just gonna do that a few more times. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, forward fold. Keeping that fold coming through the waist, stemming from the waist rather than hunching over through the back to get there. We hunch through our backs all day. We need to try to keep those long and strong right now. That might mean you're not down here, which is fine. You can keep the knees as bent as you need, maybe even so that the chest is touching the tops of the thighs. You nod the head yes, shake the head no. And inhale, half flat back. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, that spine long. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. We'll do that one more time. Exhale, release right back into that fold. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. And this time on the exhale, we're gonna bend the knees and push the hips toward the back of the mat, coming into a chair pose. So almost like you're sitting in an invisible chair, pressing the weight back into those heels rather than pressing into the toes. You should be able to lift the toes. And we're just pause here. If you're not in this position a lot, your legs might start yelling at you right away. That's okay. Pull the belly button back toward the spine to engage the core. Take some weight out of the lower back. Keep nice hands up, almost like you're holding that beach ball. And then the inhale, we'll bring the hands together. And on an exhale, we're going to twist toward the right, twisting at the waist, bringing that left elbow toward that right knee, but it does not have to touch. Keeping the hands in the center of the chest and the knees as much as you can, even with each other. The temptation is going to be to bring that right knee back. That's okay, even if that twist just takes you not very far, it's okay. And then inhale back to center and exhale, twist to the other side. Twisting at the waist, leading with the chest, keeping the hands in the center of the chest. That elbow might not come anywhere near that left knee, that's okay. And inhale back to center. We're gonna do that one more time. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. And exhale, straighten through the legs, drop the hands to the side. Shake the knees out, maybe shake the legs out. And then we're gonna inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, half flat back. And this time we're gonna drop the hands to the mat on either side of those feet. And we're just gonna come into a tabletop position. So all fours. We're gonna take a second to find your alignment here. So the wrists should be stacked under the shoulders, the knees under the hips, knees hip distance apart, hands shoulder distance apart. Long spine, top of the head reaching beyond the top of that mat, pressing the tops of the feet into the earth. We're going almost like you're pushing away from the mat. We're gonna work through some cat-cows, which are great for the spine if you sit a lot. So we're gonna inhale, lift the chin, drop the belly, pull the shoulders away from the ears, lifting the tailbone toward the sky, almost like you're trying to get it to touch the back of the head. And exhale, drop the chin to the chest, rounding the back, pushing away from the mat with the hands and the tops of the feet. Inhale, lift the chin and the chest. And you can start to move through these at your own pace with your own breath. If the pace of your breath doesn't match mine, if there's one pose that feels better than the other, feel free to stay there. The rounded back can feel really good if we sit all day. If we're hunched over our phones or our computers or our art. Inhale. Moving through a few rounds on our own. And go ahead and finish up wherever you are. And we'll meet back in a neutral spine. Releasing a breath. And all we're gonna do from here is we're gonna lift that right knee up off the mat. Nothing fancy, we're just gonna bring it up between the hands, so that that right knee is stacked over that right ankle. That left knee is still resting on the mat. Left foot pressing, top of the foot pressing into the mat. And then on the inhale, we're just gonna bring the chest away from the leg, coming up into a low lunge. You can put the hands on the waist to try to find your balance here. Pressing almost like you're trying to press a beach ball. Again, between the thighs can help with balance here. And then if you're ready, you can go ahead, if and when you're ready, bring the arms up overhead and maybe exhale, drop the hips forward just a little. Really feeling that stretch through the hips, bringing the belly button back toward the spine again to find strength in the core, support from the core. Shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale, reach through those fingertips. And on the exhale, we're going to twist toward the right side of the mat, bringing the right arm back toward the back of the mat, left arm to the front, keeping that right knee over that right ankle. Inhale here. And exhale. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, tipping the hips forward one more time. And then we'll inhale, reach for the fingertips. Exhale, drop the hands to the front of the mat. And bring that right knee back where it was. Again, nothing fancy. Take a little rest here. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So left knee lifts up off the mat, comes up between those hands. Keeping it simple. And then on an inhale, we'll lift the chest away from the leg, coming into our low lunge, using the hands on the waist for stability while you find your balance. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, you can leave your hands on the waist a little longer, bringing the hands up overhead. Opening through the heart, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, and maybe just dipping those hips forward just a little, dropping the hips. And then we'll inhale, reach through those fingertips. Maybe making sure you're bringing the belly button back toward the spine. And exhale, twist to the left of the mat, reaching that left arm back toward the back, right arm toward the front. Trying to keep that knee over the right ankle, left ankle. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, dropping the hands to either side of that foot. Bring that left foot back to tabletop. And then from here, we'll just go ahead and drop the bum back toward the heels, coming into child's pose. Kind of your choice here. If you'd like an extended child's pose, you can bring the knees out as wide as the mat. It's actually probably pretty good for the hips. If you do sit a lot, if you want traditional, just keep those knees and legs together. And then just bring the chest and the forehead to the mat. You can bring your hands to your side if you're in traditional child's pose, or reach them out in front of you. If you're do this pose this flow multiple times, try out both, see which feels best for you. If you do have your hands stretched out in front of you, maybe you even come up to the fingertips, almost like a little crab. Making a little crab with the hands just to pull through those shoulders. Almost maybe walking the fingertips to the front of the mat. Hopefully this is not muffled. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. And maybe give yourself a little forehead massage. And as you do, you might even feel the rest of the body move, and almost like you're massaging the tops of your hip flexors. Might feel really good. This is one pose that you can just come into throughout the day if you need a little movement, need to get away from your desk. You can actually stay here if you'd like. If you are going to stay here in a resting pose for a little while, you might bring your knees together if they were apart, and bring the hands to the side. Extended is a great way to stretch the hips, but child's pose, traditional, is a little nicer of a rest. And then you can stay here as long as you want, breathing, feeling the chest expand with each inhale and deflate with each exhale. Or when you're ready, you can take that energy that we just cultivated, because yes, we were trying to stretch and undo some damage from sitting, but also with all that movement, we're moving blood to the brain, energy through the body. So now maybe you're feeling a little more energetic and you want to take that energy and go work on your creative project. So feel free to rest in a resting pose for a couple of breaths, Shavasana or child's pose, or just take this energy, find a prompt from my page, and get some creative art done. Work on your creative projects. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. Namaste, warriors. Now go fight for your creativity.
Great flow, warriors. Now it's time to take that energy and create. If you still need a little extra inspiration, just grab a creativity prompt to get the ideas flowing. And if you have a friend who's also fighting writer's block, make sure to share this video and don't forget to subscribe. Now go fight for your creativity.